guys, and welcome back to another episode of The Connector. I am your connector, Arielle Levitt, and I am here to connect you to people that are doing innovative things, that are trailblazers and leaders in this industry, in their industries, I should say, and that want to connect and help others be as successful as they are, or more successful, or whatever it is, but make connections and work together as community, and to help each other grow. That want to see others succeed and help themselves succeed, and all the things, the growth that happens with all of that. So I got connected to Linda, who is my guest today, through networking, and we hit it off right away. And I was like, oh my gosh, we need to meet. I'm going to Miami or something, and she lives in Miami, and she's like, let's do dinner. And it just all happened to work out like the next week or so, or later that week. I can't even remember exactly, but anyways, so let me bring Linda on so I'm not talking about you in front of you. Hi, Linda.
Hello, Arielle.
So this is also your first podcast.
It's my very first podcast, yeah.
So I like to always tell people, like if there's an accent or anything, because otherwise people are going to be guessing your accent the whole time that when they're listening to this episode, and they're going to be like, where's she from? I want to know. And it's going to drive them crazy. So let's get this, like, you guys, here's the accent. Where are you from?
So I'm actually born and raised in Germany, but I'm half Polish as well. So very European.
So German and Polish, which is awesome. And then, so one thing I just found fascinating from you is, like, you moved here to the States. You are starting your own business. It's in interior designing and art broking. Art broker?
Art dealing.
Yeah. Art dealing.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a different, not broker, because that would make sense.
But it's very similar, I guess. Like, yeah, it's not a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah. Brokering, dealing. It sounds better as dealing. But I love and I admire you for, like, coming to a new country and taking on this whole thing, and not just like, you could work for somebody, you could find a position working for somebody, or you could do something, but you're like, no, I want to start my own business. I want to do my own thing. Yeah. But I think you started, so let's talk about your story. Let's get into the whole thing. Coming over here and just like a little bit of who you are.
Yeah, I came to the States actually 1 year ago, and it was always my dream to go to America and to spend some time here. And and then, 5 years ago, it was like my big dream to finally have my own company, my own business, after working a long, long time for interior designers. And well, why not connecting both? So everything, came across, and now I'm here. I'm living in Miami and having my business in interior design, and I love art. Over the years, I was always connecting with artists, and I just thought, like, why not trying to sell directly art to my clients, which most of them hate to go to galleries. When I'm doing the interior design of your house and you want to put some art, so of course it's matching, right? That was the idea.
Talk about connection, right? You're like, let me connect you to somebody who you're going to love their artwork and their art, it's really kind of fun where you get to and you get to also see the whole piece come together as an interior designer.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of fun because then it's local artists or artists from all over.
It's really, from all over the world, actually. Yeah. I mean, it's like right now I have 10 artists, and it's changing, and I'm just seeing people are so interested into it. They are like, yeah, cool. Okay. I mean, you need to connect. You need really to click. I cannot sell things what I don't feel like I'm connected to, but, that's artists from all over the world. And it's very interesting because they have a lot of stories to tell, and, you see your client and he's connecting with one of your artists. So yeah, it's great.
Do you introduce your artists to your clients, or how does that or you just tell them about them, or what is that like?
So I'm always saying it's a little bit like a model portfolio. You're having a portfolio of those artists, and then you talk with your client and he's like, oh, I really like this art. I really like the vibe. I feel connected to this kind of art. And then in best case, I'm trying to connect the artist with my client so they have an experience together. And that is not just a piece of a picture or a painting which has not a story. But I mean, you're spending mostly a lot of money for art. So for me, it's very important to not just sell something, but to have a background to the art. Yeah.
So when you're doing this, because it's like almost like who came first, the chicken or the egg, right? Because when you're doing design work, and now I've kind of gotten to know it a little bit better, and as I've been learning it, is like designers want to learn the person and what they like, and right, because it depends, I guess, if you're doing commercial space or residential.
Yeah.
And so, okay, let me rephrase this whole question then, because as I'm talking, I'm like, wait, but residential.
No, so actually it's both.
You're not, so you're not designing around the art, or are you designing around what the client likes and then fitting the art? How do you work that?
So
because it's
hard to say,
right? Like what do you do first?
It's like, it's really some clients are just asking for art. So they are having everything done in her apartment. They're just asking for art. And then there are clients who just don't know anything. So
but then you also have to find
scratch.
art that fits that design, right?
Yeah.
So like, what if they like an artist that is totally opposite of like what their design is, and you're like, this is going to clash a lot?
It's never like that, because I don't know. I think I'm a good dots connector. So I'm seeing, I know the client, I know the artist, and then I know the apartment, and I'm just like, okay, let's play ping pong, you know? You just need to be really focused about what the client wants, what the artist can provide, and what we have. So, and then it's always like, it's matching. And I think, you know what? I do believe like I'm attracting like kind of clients who like my style, right? And I'm attracting like kind of artists which are having a similar spirit, let's say. So I think everything is kind of connecting again. It's not like, oof, this works never ever together. Like most of the time, my clients and the artists which I'm meeting, they love each other. It's so funny, yeah. They're already friends.
They're already like on the same vibe.
Yeah, totally. That's the point.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, because it's like, but there's some artists that I love their artwork, like Papu, for example, who was on the podcast also.
She's one of the artists I'm selling.
Yeah, and I love her artwork, but like my house is coastal, modern coastal, if you want to say like that. So in her artwork, you guys will have to check out her episode, but like I would say it's not modern coastal as her artwork. Or would you say it is? Ooh, that's so funny.
You. I think, it would be actually.
It would be okay.
It would fit totally. Yeah.
Okay, you guys. All right.
But it's so funny, right?
See, because this is why I'm not a designer. You guys are like
pieces which are just like you can put it in a very classic house, old American, modern, and then you can put it in a very, very let's say like in a beach house, which is like super clean and minimalistic. Like it depends on the piece. Yeah.
Okay, I guess you're right. Like the artist and then the piece.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh, this is just like...
It's a whole world.
It really is. And design in general is a whole world. And I was, so my best friend is a designer also. And so I never have gone through the design process until about 3 years ago.
But in interior designer?
Interior, yeah. So I never had gone through the process or even thought about it until about 2 or 3 years ago when she's like, can I just redo your house for you? Like, would you mind if I just... and I was like, okay, like I thought my house looks okay, but yeah, like, I mean, I don't think I have like terrible style, but like, okay. And so she's like, take this quiz, do this thing. And I'm like, okay, whatever this is.
Yeah.
And, so she got like an idea of like what my taste is. And she's like, fantastic. I can, like, let me just get a mood board for you and all this other stuff. And I was like, as she's doing this whole process, like, so I was like, I was like, oh, I love this table. Can I just get this table? She's like, well, that's more like a farmhouse and you want coastal. So like that would clash a little bit. And I was like,
how is she thinking?
Right? I'm like, what is this? There's different types, like in a way. I was like, doesn't coastal mean farmhouse? Isn't that the same thing? And
yeah.
And so I have started to really like learn a lot. And now I'm like more awake, if you want to say that in that sense of like design, of like now understanding
But the question is like, when she was doing it, do you feel like she was right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then she would explain to me why something or like what is more modern, like what the shapes are for more modern and stuff like that. And then I was like, oh, I get that now.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really notice that, like the skinny legs for more modern or whatever it is, right? Like skinny legs.
It's so funny. Like for me, I think that the hardest part is it's so much about psychology. Like it's not just about the style, but like you said, she's finding out what you like and then like to mix it and get into your head. Like, what you are thinking? Is it correct? Is it wrong? Are we going in the right direction or not? I think that's just a...
I mean, designers are like therapists.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I'm to tell you, I have like a whole new understanding for...
Yeah.
And so then she designed my home and I've never like felt like I had like a home in a sense. Like, I know that sounds crazy. Because growing up, my parents still live in the same house that I grew up in and everything. And, but everything was always like mismatched and, didn't have a theme to it or a feeling or a vibe. It was homey. It felt like home.
Yeah.
But there was no, like, they had some hand-me-down furnitures. They had some like furniture that we bought like, cheaper or whatever, random, right? Like that we're like, oh, that works. But it's like, oh my gosh, that's contemporary. Or that's like modern or, whatever. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't know the slang, but like, this is so the beauty that you guys get to do is, yeah.
I think, like maybe it's also a generation thing or also sometimes it's also a money thing, character thing. But what I see is like, I have the feeling like a lot of people are, for example, buying things just because they think it's cool or it's trendy or it's in the new catalog or something. So, but it has nothing really to do with their soul or, this is like, it's really not them. And so I'm often having projects where they already spend so much money on like furnitures with labels and stuff. And it's just because of other people, what they're thinking about them. And it's terrible. It's just like, you want to create something what is connected to you. It's your house. It's the most important thing, probably. So, yeah, I think...
And I think so many people don't make their homes like a home. They buy things, like you said, like because they like it or whatever, or they like, but they're not like, I guess, really feeling into what they really want in a way.
Yeah.
And I never really understood that until going through the process. And it is a energy shifting, I don't even know how to describe it, but like an eye-opening and aha moment in a way.
And it's so private.
Yes. And I wish this upon everybody. I want everybody to experience this feeling of like truly having a home.
It's really exploring yourself and what you like.
Yeah. And when things are in a flow of cohesiveness of like now like all my furniture, everything like flows in my house and you can feel that energetically.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And and that's what I know you do. You get inside somebody's head, you figure out what they want. And then you allow them to have this whole flow of energetic flow where they're not like you're flowing and then all of a sudden, wait, ooh, there's this huge piece of furniture here that like doesn't really go. And it's like throws off the whole feeling and that.
Yeah.
And I got the pleasure of having one of your, seeing one of your designs in the yoga studio.
Yeah.
And when you walk in, your like whole body is at ease. And it just feels so like cohesive and natural and flow. I don't know how else to describe it, but that's what you get to do. You get to so
it's so funny. For example, like this project, like it's in a building where I'm doing a different project as well. And it's just like the opposite. So it's like a like an office and a lot of guys are there, and it's like a different vibe. So yeah, I think, it's just, that's like you said, it's not my work is not a therapy, but I need to get to know these clients and those people really deeply to understand. And they also should then understand what they need is, like what they're feeling, what they want to have as a surrounding. I think also an office can be like our house or a home because we are spending so much time into it. And we are not thinking about, okay, how do I feel? Is it making me comfortable to sit here on this chair like 8 hours or something, So it's all connected about the colors, about the furniture, about how you act, how you work, how you spend your time. Yeah. So it's, to get to know them pretty well.
Yeah. Do you feel like people like think they know what they want, and as you start to like explore that with them, you're like, no, you really didn't want that. Like,
well, that's also a hard part, because we are losing sometimes so much time about they're thinking what they want, and then we are having the process. And in the beginning, I'm saying like, no, I don't think it's the right way, and then after a time, they are like, "Oh, Linda, yeah, that was right. We need to make a change." So, but that's okay. I think I'm learning; they're learning. It's just part of the process.
Yeah. It's. I mean, you're dealing with emotion, right? Like that's really what you're dealing with. Not really much logic in this whole thing. Everything's based upon feeling. It's
interesting you're saying this. Yeah. I think I never was thinking about it, that it has so much to do with emotions. Yeah. It truly is. Yeah. But it's something beautiful. And you have it's like you are growing into a relationship with every project and with the clients. So it's like ups and downs, and so many other people are involved. It's not just me as an interior designer. It's like an architect, a constructor. It's like a whole team. And it's... every project is just different. We are always starting from a new page. Yeah.
Do you enjoy commercial or residential better, or do you like them both equally, or what do you?
I did. So I started pretty young, and I was like doing the first of, I think 10 years. Yeah, 10 years, I think. I started just to do like private houses, and I loved it, because it's just like, you are learning so much, and you are like learning so much about humans and about how people live differently. But now, as I'm just had it probably too much, I really enjoy commercial, because it's less emotional a little bit, but you have like time frames, and I love both. I think actually I have both. I could never say like I want to do this or that.
Yeah, you'd only want to do, yeah.
I'm trying to do more like boats as well. So it's like, I think I'm a playful person. I like to do different things. Yeah.
Well, you get to live in creativity, which is fun. Like you get to just play all the time. It's like a playground. And
yeah, the creativity part is actually, I think, every interior designer would kill me now, but I think it's 20%.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's the other 80%?
It's a lot about like, so communication, deliveries, logistic, budget, a lot of math.
A lot of math, yeah. Well, measuring things to make sure that they fit, right?
Yeah. And just organization. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, my brain does not work that way.
Oh yeah. That's why we're all having different jobs, right?
Yeah. I think it's fascinating and amazing that like you can also just see this whole vision of what would really work well in a space. It's a spatial awareness or spatial.
It's like a puzzle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which is really fun. So cool. All right. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. Injured in a car accident, on the job, or just playing a game of pickleball? MedAmerica is the #1 clinic in physical therapy, occupational therapy, and chiropractic needs, specializing in sports, post-surgical, and orthopedic conditions. Located in Deerfield Beach, MedAmerica is here to help you get back feeling better than you did before. Visit their website at medamericarehab.com. That's Med, M-E-D, America, A-M-E-R-I-C-A, rehab, R-E-H-A-B.com. Mention the connector to receive 10% off any self-pay service. Today's podcast is sponsored by Pod Populi. Have you ever thought of starting a podcast? Not sure where to start? Pod Populi makes it easy. With over 20 podcast studio locations nationwide, they host over 100 podcasts. Pod Populi is a full-service podcasting studio with video and audio production. They help you put your idea into the best podcast. Visit podpopuli.com to book your time to talk to an expert on getting started. That's pod, PODPOPULI.com, and mention The Connector for 10% off your first year. Okay, we're back. And I want to talk about boats. You touched on boats for a second. And I just want to dive into that a little bit more because I didn't even think of designing a boat. Mm-hmm. I think that they're already designed, right? Like the manufacturer who's making the boat, right, designs it. I in my head, because I don't know much about this space at all. And so you actually get to redesign a boat or add to it, or how does that work?
So there are different parts, right? There are a lot of big companies who are already building boats. So they are already doing interior design. I'm living now in Miami, so it's actually a great place for doing this. And we just started. So, it really depends what kind of client you have, or if you are working with a company who's already building boats and they are just want to do the design, or if you have a private client who just can afford it and have the money to redesign a boat. Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So it'd be already an older boat that they want to upgrade. Or
no, sometimes it's also it's a very modern boat, but they just don't like it, and they have the money for change it. Yeah.
Wow. That's a whole different ball game. But then you have to learn materials, right?
It's a different team. It's different materials. So everything, most of them, not everything, but a lot of it has to be outdoor. And you just need a different mindset because it's moving and it's going to be a storm or something. It's, it's just different. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
But that's the great part in interior design. It's not just about boats, but sometimes a tree house, or there's so many amazing projects which can be discovered. I don't know, desert houses or hotels. I think we are going into a generation where let's say you are going for holidays somewhere and you want to spend something very special. It's already on Airbnb or something where you can rent a tree house or a little house somewhere in the nature, in the jungle. So I think they're getting more projects which are more playful, more interesting, more creative, which is just out of the box. Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's where you like to be.
Yes.
You're how wild can we go with the project?
Right? No boundaries.
Yeah. What would be your ideal thing to design then?
Don't ask me that. I think really something very spacey. I don't know. I mean, I'm really I have a lot of fantasy. So
when you say spacey, you mean science, outer space, or
for example, to do something on the moon, like something like that.
Oh my gosh, that would be insane.
Yeah, but yeah, that's another dream. Yeah.
It is really the world is the limit, or the sky's the limit, or whatever the expression is. But you get to be as creative as you want to be, because like you said, there are so many new opportunities that are coming about.
Yeah. For example, just, there are a lot of hotels or things which are under the water, or where you're just driving with a boat and having a house or a place on the water. It's fascinating, I think.
Yeah. Wow. It's so funny. I just think of, I guess I'm just stepping into the field of design, or stepping my toe into like the
Maybe
area.
you should work with me 1 week or something.
I know. I'm going to have to see more about this. And like,
Would love to.
It's so fun. And it's amazing how, how it all works. So like, do you like your referrals, I guess, like people like find you off of Instagram? Like what?
Yeah.
Like, because people, and like, how do people choose a designer? How do people?
So when I came here, it's a lot of mouth to mouth, over friends and family, and it's a lot here, just mouth to mouth. But yeah, I'm on Instagram, and I'm also having my website, and sometimes it's just random, like you're in a coffee place or something and talking with someone, and and they need an interior designer, or I'm also selling like furnitures, and they just need a furniture or art piece or something. Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's just so amazing. Like I think interior designers are underrated, or under appreciated, I think is the word I'm looking for, is that I did not really until you work with an interior designer, you don't really know what you're missing out on.
I think it's just still like the picture that you're just moving like furniture from A to B, and people just don't understand. I think it's not well communicated what it really is, like what we are doing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I know there's like so many shows like people watch that like are like on HGTV or whatever, like the home improvement shows, but then talks about like the construction and all that other stuff. But it really, I don't know. I still think it's underrated that we don't really know what you guys do.
Yeah. But maybe it's also like, maybe that's a challenge for us, just to communicate it better and to show what is the uniqueness of every interior designer.
Yeah. I really wish it upon everybody. And it's no, because then my friend redid my office, and when she redid my office, she was like, can I just take on your office this project? And I was like, I think it's pretty nice. Like, I don't think it's like shambles. And
almost like, what do you want to say?
Yeah. When I was like, I was like, okay, if you think so, but I was like, it seems nice. And then when she redid it, I was like, okay, I totally get it now. I was like, I had different wood tones that were like, one was like really yellow, one was like really cool and cold. And I'm like, I can totally see now that was clashing. But at the time, I just was like, I didn't put my glasses on or take my glasses off or whatever the expression is.
One question to you. Are you seeing things now differently?
Yeah. Yeah? Totally. Now like I go into other places and I'm like, ooh, okay, so that's kind of like modern with I don't know, whatever the expression, I don't know enough, but like, I'm just like, okay, like I'm learning wood tones. Like that's a very cool wood tone. Yeah. And that's maybe paired with a more warm wood tone. And I'm like, okay, I could see where that would like kind of hurt the energy feel when you walk in, which I'm sure you feel a lot of that when you go into places where you're like.
Totally. It's hard to put it off. Actually.
Yeah.
To turn it off. Yeah.
You're probably like, oh my gosh, sometimes.
It's too much. Yeah.
Like, do you have to sometimes, like, if it's a restaurant or something, like, are you like, okay, I have to put blinders on because I can't.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like, I talked with a friend of mine some weeks ago, and he asked me like to do some stuff in his apartment, and I was just like, yeah, you cannot match this and that, and he's just like, why not? Like, can we go, like, I don't know, like one restaurant where he wants to go? And I'm just like, I'm not going with you to this restaurant. He thought like I'm super fancy. And I'm just like, I cannot go with you. You don't feel it. Like, it's just such a weird place, bad energy and everything. And he was just like, yeah. It's like, and then he's, it's a really good friend of mine, and he tries to understand my mind. And he's like, maybe it's actually, it's an interesting perspective,
Yeah. It's just
different.
Learning. Yeah. And then sometimes like you don't know why you're annoyed in a space. Yeah. And until you like, actually like feel into that. You're like, oh, I'm annoyed because it feels annoying in here.
Yeah.
Or it just feels too much energy happening.
And if you would know, like it's a huge study, but how we are getting manipulated about like lightning or store where you buying stuff. So like all the commercial places, it's a lot about psychology, how they decorate the rooms and the shops and everything. So yeah.
Wait, let's go into that a little bit more. Wait. Explain this more.
I don't want to get in too deep in it, but I remember when I was studying, I had like, I was writing something about grocery stores. So cheap grocery stores, for example, have a different, I don't know if it's still like that. I mean, it was like 7 years ago, but they had like different lighting, and the more expensive grocery stores, they really they put so much money into the design and music. So all the vibe, right? Like the lighting, the even, I don't know, flowers sometimes or decoration or something, the color range. So you feel really nice in it and you are more willing to spend more money.
I have heard this. Yes. Yeah. It's also a vibe, right? Like Bloomingdale's is a different vibe than TJ Maxx.
Totally. Yeah.
And it's just what you're going in for and what the feel you want to have, you want to have. Yeah. I like both. I'm not going to discriminate, guys. I do like both.
Too.
You have the pros and cons, and I like them both though. But yeah, no, it really is. It's so true. And it's psychology. Go back to therapy.
And
go
energy.
back to, psychology, energy. And because it's like a full circle.
Yeah, totally.
So you said you're working on a course earlier. Like I were talking about the course, program. So is this to the public? Is this to designers? What you are?
I'm offering workshops. And I'm just starting with it because I want to go more into actually that's what we are just talking about. Like I don't want to just sell things and be like a commercial interior designer, but I want that people are more connected with themselves and getting to know what kind of color range they like or what kind of materials and things. So I'm giving workshops for self-reflection in interior design.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Because most people don't even really know what they like.
No.
I didn't until I did like the test and the thing, and you feel into it. Yeah. No. Oh my gosh. This is like so important, right?
And it's so funny because like I had like, I think like it's, let's say 80% are women and the rest are guys because they are just like, okay, it's too feminine or something. And I'm getting like more and more and like with my male friends about it, and they really enjoy it. Like it's so cool to see how much they enjoy it, how much they like to open their creative side and just creating a nice home or something. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. It's such a service that's needed. I'm glad you're allowing this or making it more accessible for people to really understand and know what they want. Because once you know more of what you want, it becomes clearer to the world.
Yeah.
And it becomes clearer to everybody else.
It's helping, right? It's helping in a lot of things. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. Because once I know your vibe, your style, who you are, I'm like, okay, it's like, I don't have to guess as much.
I think a lot of people are just so afraid about it.
Knowing what they want?
Yeah, like to show it, like to explore it and because most of that, like a lot of people are thinking, I mean, I was that maybe in some parts is the same. We are not exploring enough, so we are thinking we have to fit in a box or something, right? So we are not getting judged or whatever. For me, like for example, I love childish things in my house, and I think it's just part of my character. And when you are showing this, it's better for you to know who you are and who you want to attract. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it's just being comfortable in our own skin. That's what it comes. Yeah.
But actually, you're struggling more.
Well, you have to really look at yourself.
Yeah.
which is hard to do.
Yeah.
It's easier to be distracted and put or be an ostrich in the sand or whatever it is, or to get so busy with your life, you don't have to think about.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. And, it is really cool, like doing that. It brings up a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that we bury or triggers that like we don't want to look at. And, but I think it's an incredible process that people should go through.
Yeah.
And, I think you all should check out Linda. So Linda, where can everybody find you and connect with you?
Yeah, I would love to connect on Instagram, guys. So my site is Linda Laube Official. And also you find there my email, my website. If you have questions or want to, ask for the workshop or even to have just a coffee or something in Miami, reach out.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Connecting, right? Because it's all, and it's how you work with somebody and how it's personalities, right? Like you're interviewing them, they're interviewing you, you're seeing if you vibe together.
Great things are happening. Yeah. No, it's, I think we are living in an age where we're all connecting and, want to do something productive. So, yeah.
There's definitely a turn.
Yeah.
There is a change of, there's definitely a change happening.
And we're having all the tools. So, yeah.
Which is so fun. I love it. Okay, guys, I love connecting with you all every week. And I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this episode. And if you have heard something in here that you want to share with a friend, or you want to post about it on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you want to post about it, just tag us in it because we want to hear too. If you want to share your thoughts on this episode, feel free to email me at arieltheconnector@gmail.com or reach out to me on Instagram, or Linda, for that matter, share the thoughts with us both. But subscribing and writing a review for the podcast really does help the podcast grow and help spread the news to other people. So I thank you every week so much for listening, and I look forward to seeing you all next week for a whole new episode.
Thank you so much.